All right, so you're thinking about moving to Southeast Asia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, wherever. Here's what I did when I moved. I'll tell you everything I did before I moved and when I first got here. You ready? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up? It's JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia here in Thailand. Now, I moved to Southeast Asia about 3.5 years ago, and I love it out here. Love everything about it pretty much. And I'll tell you what I went through to get here, and hopefully this will help you. If you're thinking about coming out to Southeast Asia for an extended period of time, maybe coming out here to work, maybe coming out here to live in retirement, whatever the case may be, let's talk about what I did, and maybe that'll help you out. So before I moved, and I was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the time, before I moved, once I knew I was going to move, the first thing I had to do was downsize what I had. So I was living in a townhouse, paying about $14.50 a month for rent. Utilities were, well over $100 for heat and air conditioning, and and then the water on top of that, you had to pay for that, and that was pretty extensive. But there are a lot of expenses, so I had to downsize. So I had furniture. I had a lot of furniture, and I got lucky because my landlord, who I was renting from, he asked me, he goes, "Well, what are you going to do with all this stuff?" I go, "I don't know. I'm going to have to sell it." And so my thought process was, I got to sell everything by item by item, and that could take forever. Some things might not sell. Then I'll have to get a larger storage unit because what I wanted to do was just get rid of everything, and then I could just get a small storage unit for the personal stuff. Well, my landlord, he goes, "Well, I'll buy it all off of you." So he goes, "Shoot me a price," and I did, and he took it, and so I didn't have to sell any items individually. All the furniture, so all my living room furniture, my bedroom furniture, my dining room set, all the dishes, what else? The wall hangings. I mean, pretty much everything that was in that townhouse, I was able to sell to him. Even my grill, I had a gas grill and 2 lawnmowers. I sold all that. I just gave it all to him, and that way I didn't need to move that. I had a few personal items. I had an antique stereo console that my dad had purchased back in 1962 that I still have in the family. So I kept that, and I used that. I put that in storage. I had some other personal items, pictures and just paperwork, some filings and things like that. So I was able to put everything in a 5x10 storage unit that I want to get rid of the rest of that stuff, either give it to my sister or just get rid of it completely. That way I don't have to pay the $93 a month in storage. So I was able to do that. Next thing I needed to do was get caught up on a couple of shots. So tetanus shot, hepatitis A and B or B and C, whatever, the 2 hepatitis shots, whatever they were. Anyway, I got caught up on those shots. And back at the time, I had to get COVID shots too to be able to move over here. So, but you don't have to do that now. That's not required. If you haven't done the jab, don't worry about it. Let me see. What else did I do? Had to do something with my car, so I put my car in storage. And basically that was it. Just let my family and friends know that I'm moving and where I'm moving to. And let my bank and my credit card companies know that I'm going to be overseas for an extended period of time. And so I wanted to make sure that all my cards I was able to use my cards freely once I got over here. Let's see, I think that's about it as far as the main things. I mean, there were some small things, I booked a flight, I tried to book a flight as far out as I could to make it a little cheaper, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to be gone I didn't want to stay in the States too much longer. I was ready to move, and I needed to move for my job. As far as once I got there, I had it was either an Airbnb or a Goda that I booked a place to stay for a couple of weeks. I think I did a 2-week booking in BGC, in Bonifacio Global City in Metro Manila in the Philippines. And I did that for 2 weeks so I could look for a permanent condo to rent. So I stayed. Once I got in to Manila Airport, I did not get a SIM card right away. In fact, I called T-Mobile and I switched my service to international, and I got the international plan, and it cost me, it was $60 a month, but if I do automatic payment from my bank account, they drop it to $55. So I'm paying $55 a month for my international. You get unlimited data and texting, and if you have to make phone calls, they charge 25 cents a minute for phone calls. And the only time I've ever needed to make a phone call was to call my attorney back home for some legal advice and things like that. So really, it's never been, on the months that I've used that call to call him, it's been like $60 total instead of 55. So between 55 and 60, and you get unlimited services. And really, the data is not bad. Once you get into the Philippines, when you're in the major areas, you can use your data fairly well. Here in Thailand, super easy. It works really well. Vietnam works pretty well. The Philippines can be hit or miss. If you're deep into the province, you're probably not going to get very good data service. But other than that, it's good. I eventually got a SIM card once I got settled in because I needed that. I needed a Philippine phone number in order to get GCash. So that's kind of the things that happened gradually along the way once I moved here. So what I did was, once I found a place to live, I was able to move all that stuff. And I didn't have much. I probably packed and brought more than I needed. I brought 3 suit coats, suit jackets, sports jackets, basically, suit pants, dress shirts, ties. I brought all that because I thought with my job, I needed to look professional. But after I got settled in, I realized, you know what, I don't need these. I'm not going out. I'm working remotely from my condo. So those are things that I packed that I didn't really need. I probably packed too many clothes. I left a lot of clothes in my storage unit, but I probably packed too much. I could have gotten by with probably half of what I packed and just bought what I needed once I got here. The only issue with buying clothes in the Philippines, if you're a big guy, like over 6 foot tall, you might have an issue finding some clothes that will fit you. The sizing is a lot different in Southeast Asia. So if you wear an extra large at home, you're probably looking at a XXX here. If you have big feet like I do, I'm a 12 and a half size shoe. It's going to be, especially in the Philippines, it's going to be hard to find that size. So I really rely a lot on Amazon to order certain things. Some things you can't get. Some things you can get in the West that you can't get here. Like my hair gel, I use the Crew pomade, and you can't buy that here. Not the kind I like. So I have to order that in stock in bulk. I order like 3 or 4 jars at a time, and it lasts me for most of the year. So anyway, things like that. I'll order, like you can't get ibuprofen in the Philippines, so you can order that, the generic, online. Here in Thailand, you can get the Zyrtec, the generic Zyrtec for my allergies. I take that every day. So I'm able to get that. It's a little more expensive than if I ordered through Amazon. But in Thailand especially, they have a pretty stiff import fee on items sent to you. So you just kind of have to figure out which is the best route to go as far as what to buy through Amazon or what to buy locally. But yeah, so just buy your clothes or buy your items here. Once you get here in the Philippines or anywhere in Southeast Asia, you can pretty much buy what you need here. So once I got settled into my condo, then my landlord, actually, she was really good at, she drove me around, showed me all the BGC and where to go, showed me where all the malls are, showed me the grocery stores, helped me get my phone, my Filipino SIM card phone set up, helped me register for Gcash. And if you're not familiar with Gcash in the Philippines, it's a way that you can, it's a way to pay things online. You can put money in your Gcash account and use it to pay at different locations, or you can send money to other people through Gcash. But there's a process to get everything registered and verified. And it took about almost 2 months probably to get my verification through Gcash so I could start actually using it. So that was kind of a pain in the rear. And that's something that you gotta understand. That's the Philippines. You're gonna run into that issue if you if you're here for an extended period of time and want to get anything accomplished. You're gonna have delays. It's gonna take a while. That's just the way it is in the Philippines, especially. I got my Wi-Fi set up, and that worked out pretty well. What else did I do when I first got there? Those are the main things, I think. I didn't open up a bank account. I didn't feel the need to. I used MoneyGram to send myself money if I needed cash. You can use your card in a lot of places, especially in like BGC and Metro Manila and some of the larger cities, Cebu, other places. You can use your bank card or your credit card, and it works fine. If you use the ATMs, you're going to get charged a fee for using the ATM, and then I don't know if your bank will charge you or not, but you'll get a local charge here in Southeast Asia. So just gotta kind of understand what the exchange rates are. My bank has a better exchange rate than the ATMs do. So if I ever use the ATM to get cash out, and I have that option to use the currency exchange for the ATM or use my bank currency exchange, I always pick my bank exchange because it's a better rate. So I use that. If you're using ATMs, use them sparingly. I mean, the MoneyGram thing, you get a pretty decent exchange rate, and the fees aren't that bad, similar to Wise. But I don't think you can get cash out of your Wise account. You have to send it to a local bank. So if I, like here in the Philippines, once I come back here from my trip to Vietnam next month, once I come back here, I'll get my education visa and start my Thai classes, and then work with an agent to open up a bank account here. And then once I have a bank account, then I can start transferring money directly from my bank account to the bank account here, and then use the local services. So that'll be a plus. I don't know what if any issues I'll run into opening up a bank account here. We'll find out. Could be an interesting trip, an interesting journey to get a bank account open here in Thailand. But I will let you follow along on the way, every step, and let you know how easy or how hard it is, and what problems I might run into. But when I was in the Philippines, when I first moved there, I didn't have any issues. I didn't get a bank account opened up, so I didn't need it. But if I needed cash, I used MoneyGram, and there's a local MoneyGram place in BGC at Market Ayala Mall where you can pick up your cash there, and I just did that. And then there's break points. If you use MoneyGram to pick up cash, there's break points. So, if you get 10,000 pesos, you're going to have a certain charge, and then when you get above that, then that fee goes up incrementally, and then the next break point is like 25,000. So if you're going to get cash out using a MoneyGram like that, I would go to the highest before that next break point, the highest cash out before that next break point. That way you're taking full advantage. Same with ATMs. If they're going to charge you, 200 pesos or 220 baht here to use an ATM, don't just take 1,000 baht out or, a couple thousand pesos out, because that doesn't add up as far as what you're paying in fees. The fees won't go up with the ATM. So take out the maximum amount. That way your fees will be the same and you'll get the maximum amount out for the same amount that you pay. So if that makes sense. But those are the main things that I did when I was planning on moving here and once I got here. Now, find out in the Philippines, find out where the Bureau of Immigration offices are. The one nearest you, the BI office in BGC, is on the 8th floor of SM Aura Mall. And so it's super easy to just go up there. I literally was 6 blocks away, so I just walked there. And once you come into the Philippines, you come in visa-free for 30 days, and then you have to extend and get a tourist visa. And that's a 29-day extension for the first time. And that cost has gone up from what I understand. It's about double what it used to be when I first got here. But then after that 29 days, then you can extend, back then you could extend another 30 days, 60 days, or 6 months. So 1, 2, or 6 months. They don't do that 6 month anymore. They can do 1 or 2 months. So once you do your first extension of 29 days, you go back and you extend again. Then you have to pay for your extension, whether it's 30 or 60 days. And you also have to get what's called an ACR card, which is a Alien Certificate of Registration ID. And you have to buy that. You have to get that. There's no getting around it. And really all it is just a money grab for the Philippines to have some reason to charge you more money. Now, you can use it for different items. You can use it, I've used it before for a senior discount at restaurants. A lot of the restaurants in the major metropolis, they'll accept that. Now, you can't get groceries on a discount with that. You can't get the book. They have a book that Philippine citizens have, senior citizens have. You can't legally have that as a foreigner. So don't even think about doing that. But you can use your ACR card to travel within the country. I don't believe that you're required to have your passport if you're traveling by bus. I don't think I've ever used it. I don't know if I've ever needed my ACR card to travel by bus anywhere. So, but other than that, there's really no reason to have that ACR card other than an ID. If you get, if you get pulled over or you get questioned by the police or something and they want to see an ID, you can show them that. That way you don't have to carry your passport around. But it's mandatory, so you just got to deal with it. Nothing else really that you have to worry about. Just make sure if you're signing a long-term lease, understand what you're getting into. Make sure you read the lease, and they'll be in English. Even here in Thailand, they've got Thai and English on the lease, so you can read everything. And Vietnam too, they do that. But in the Philippines, it's all in English, and just read through that. Make sure you understand, and negotiate. Negotiate if you find a condo or you find an apartment or whatever that you like, and you think the price is a little high. Do some negotiations. Now they will tell you up front in the Philippines they want 2 months advance and 2 months deposit, and a lot of them will say they want 12. checks, signed checks for the 12-month period that your lease is. Don't go for that. Don't tell them that. Don't do that. First of all, I don't have checks for my banking account. I haven't written a check in years, decades probably. But just tell them you don't have checks and you'll do electronic transfer, and they'll usually be okay with that. Now, I had a condo ready to move into at Surrendra when I first moved to the Philippines, and it was a nice condo and it was big. It was expensive though. It was like 65,000 pesos a month, which is, back then it was about 130 or $1,300 a month US. But I was working for a US company. I was making really good money, so it was still less than what I was paying back in Tulsa. So I was ready to sign it. It was owned by a Chinese guy, and right at the right when I was going to sign that morning, where I met with the agent, the realtor, and the owner, and he backed out at the last minute. He didn't want to do it. He decided he wanted the post-dated checks. And I said, no, I'm not going to do any post-dated checks. So we backed out of that, which was good because I found a nice place that was about half the price. So I was able to get a good place, good deal. And this landlord was super nice. I've had 2 landlords for long-term stays in BGC, and they've both been fantastic. Now, the story goes that, oh, you'll never get your deposit back, so you might as well just kiss that goodbye. So you can negotiate, try to get them down to a 1-month deposit, 1 month a rent. They'll either say yes or they will say no. Some Philippines can be hard-nosed as far as negotiations sometimes. So you either take what they offer you, or you can walk away and find something else. But I've never had a problem with getting my deposits back. Both times, I've always got my full deposit back, minus the cleaning charges, which were minimal, and then minus the utilities that accumulated before I left. And then both times I gave them 2 months deposit, and I was able to use one of those deposit months for my last month rent. So they applied that to my rent. So really, then they gave me my 1 month deposit back at the end, minus the utilities. So everything worked out really good. And just here's my advice: pay on time or pay early. I always paid at least 2 weeks early because the timing was that my pension money would get into my bank account, and then my rent wouldn't be due until like 2 weeks later. So I'd always pay early, and they like that. Keep the place clean. Don't complain about a lot of things. If you do have issues, be polite about the issues, and be empathetic to them too. And then usually you'll be in a really good relationship with them, and you should have no problem getting your deposit back. So that's what I would say. And here, my condo here, it's basically the same thing. It's I've got 2 months deposit in. When I leave at the end of October, I may ask if I can apply 1 month of those deposits for my October rent. And that way I can move out earlier, and that's what I want to do. I want to move into another place, a little bigger place down on Sukhumvit, a little closer. So that's my plan. But so there you go. There's my advice. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything I'm missing, if you've lived here or are living here, what you did. I would love to hear what your comments are, what your advice is. But that's kind of what I did before I left and when I first got here. Those are the things I went through. I can't think of anything else that was pressing that I needed to do. Most everything just you dealt with it as it came up. But it's always good to find out, where the grocery stores are, where the malls are, where to get your haircut, all those locations. And my landlady was super nice that she helped me out. She took me all around in her private driver, took me all around BGC and showed me where everything is. And she helped me I needed to, she showed me where to order my water, because you got to get the big water jugs because you can't drink the tap water in most Southeast Asian countries except Japan. There may be a couple others that I'm unaware of, but here in Thailand and Vietnam, in the Philippines, don't drink the tap water, get the bottles. So you can get these big 5-gallon jugs of water that you can order. And she showed me how to order that. And then I needed a pump to pump the water out. So she took me to SM Aura Mall and went to this gadget shop, and it had one of those pumps. So I bought that pump, but she was able to take me to all these places. So she was really, really helpful. So if you can find somebody, a Filipino or local, or even an expat that's been living in where you're moving to for a period of time that kind of knows their way around, glean as much information off that person as you can. Have them help you as much as possible, because it really makes things a lot easier to get settled in when you first get here. So like, share, and subscribe. As always, live life, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.